tattooing is a very intimate experience. You come close to your client, you touch your client, people open up. And although they have only a few minutes with us, but they open up and they talk.
If you've ever been on a pilgrimage, you've probably kept a souvenir as a reminder of your journey. For some visiting the Holy Land, however, the only thing that will do justice to the experience is a bit more permanent. For centuries, pilgrims have marked their experience with a visit to Razzouk Tattoo, the oldest tattoo parlor in the world. Located in the heart of Jerusalem, this family business mixes ink with sacred imagery for a holy reminder that people can take with them throughout their life. Today, we are speaking with Wasim Razzouk, 27th generation tattoo artist who is on tour in the US to bring his sacred art to new parts of the world. Thank you so much, Wasim, for meeting with us and taking that time to speak with us and tell us about your legacy.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm happy to be here. America has been a great experience so far.
Before we dive into Razzouk Tattoo, I would like you to tell us a little bit about yourself. How did everything start?
So we are a Coptic family. Coptic means that we come from Egypt. We're early Christians who refused to convert to Islam were actually tattooed by the Islamic state or regime at that time in order to mark the Christians who did not convert to Islam. A few generations down the line, the Christians started marking themselves with the cross tattoo on the wrist to make it as a sign to recognize each other who did not convert to Islam. I actually have this tattoo, it's on me. And this tattoo you will see on almost every Copt. My family was doing tattoos in Egypt for those Christians, for those Copts. There was a similar tradition in the Holy Land of tattooing Christian pilgrims who would get a tattoo of a cross and the date of their visit, of their pilgrimage. So my ancestors brought the tools with them and the profession with them from Egypt to Jerusalem. We've been in Jerusalem 500 years, 200 years before that in Egypt, which makes us the longest tattooing family in the world.
That's amazing. Now, is this something that you always wanted to do, or it was just predestined because of your ancestors and your history?
This was not what I wanted to do. So when I was a child, I used to go to my father's shop. My father was always trying to get me into the business, but I never really wanted. I wanted to do other things. I like motorcycles and cars, and that's where my focus was. And then things changed. I was riding my motorcycle. It's a white Harley Davidson along the side of the Sea of Galilee. And there was a voice in my head where I was repeating to myself, I need to start tattooing, I need to start tattooing. And I didn't know what that was. So I went back home after a couple of days and I talked to my father and he was so excited that I changed my mind, and he brought up all the tools and all the old books and all the stamps, which is something that we also have in the family. And this is where my life changed. And then later on, I discovered that this was God who was talking to me on that day.
The practice started, by getting tattoos as a form of identity. Do you feel like there has been a shift in that meaning since then?
Not at all. Every Christian who gets a Christian themed tattoo is because they want to express their identity, they want to express their Christianity, their faith, their connection to God. Why? Because you want to show and to prove that you are a Christian and you don't mind that somebody would come and ask you, what is this for? It's not something that can be stolen. It's not something that can be forgotten. Us as the family that has been doing this, we help those pilgrims and Christian clients, we help them to connect with God by people asking them about their faith, and then they can spread the word of God.
And how old are these designs?
So a lot of the stamps, so when I say stamps, those are the designs that were carved in wooden stamps. And originally they came from Egypt. So we're talking about 600-700 years old. We would lay out the stamps and the clients would come and look at the stamps and choose one of them. And then when they do choose it, we take it and then we dip it in ink or on a stamp pad and we just stamp it on the skin. This way the image is transferred or stenciled on the client. So this is the ancient technique that we keep. Other than that, everything else is modern.
Now, do you have a favorite stamp?
My favorite design is, of course, the Jerusalem cross, because I come from Jerusalem. I was born in Jerusalem. It's made out of 5 crosses. So the center cross, which is the bigger one, represents Jerusalem as the center of the world. And then you have the 4 crosses at each corner of the cross, which represents Christianity or the Word of God spreading to the 4 corners of the world. And the other one that I really love is the Saint George slaying the dragon. Good versus evil. So, those are the stamps. Sometimes people think they are stone, but they are not. They're olive wood, but because they've been so old, they've been used so much, dipped in ink so many times, touched so many times, and touching people so many times, they have become like stone. This is my favorite one. This is the Saint George. This is a 500-year-old stamp.
Wow.
There is actually a picture of my grandfather holding it like this, taking pictures. Beautiful.
That is so special.
Yeah. This would be a very typical pilgrimage tattoo because this is the resurrection of Jesus. Because pilgrims would come to the Holy Land, do the pilgrimage during Easter. And this you can see here, Jesus and the tomb open and he's in resurrection.
Yeah.
Also, this one is very old, probably 400, 500 years
Wow.
old. Yeah, Veronica. And the veil.
Oh, they're so detailed and intricate.
Yes, yes. Hand carved.
Yeah.
You can see the detail. And it's 500 years ago they could carve something like this.
It's amazing.
And it, was preserved. So yeah, we're happy to have them.
Do you have a favorite tattoo story of somebody, maybe somebody famous, or just a story in general that really inspired you?
I have tattooed a lot of people, and our shop has seen so many clients, literally thousands and thousands of clients. Father Mike Schmitz was tattooed in our shop. Pastor Matt Chandler, he's very famous. But one very beautiful story that sticks to my mind, and I really love to say it, is the one that I was tattooing this old lady. While I was tattooing her, she started to cry. And I said, "Why are you crying? Is it painful?" She said, "No, I'm crying because of the story that I have." So she had come with her mother to the Holy Land when she was 3 years old, 4 years old. They came in a group to my grandfather. He had tattooed all of them. Her mom wanted her to get a tattoo together with her, so the mom and the daughter. She was too young, she freaked out, and she didn't get the tattoo. So the mom said, "All right, I'm not gonna get a tattoo either. So we'll come back and we will do it when you grow up a little bit more." So they were from Lebanon. And then when they went back, there was the war. And then the borders closed between Lebanon and Israel. And then they could never come back. So the mom died. She never got a tattoo. Eventually, after many, many years, maybe 70 years, she came to Jerusalem as a pilgrim. And she came to my shop. She looked for the shop. She wanted to get a Razuk tattoo, a cross, the cross that she would get for her and her mom. You see, this is the kind of stories that we hear.
I can see your faith through your art in many ways and everything. It really inspires what you do. Would you see yourself doing this without that faith that you have?
No. And of course, the faith is very important. And as I said, remember that day I told you about the motorcycle ride?
Yeah.
My life changed. I got in touch more with my faith, with my soul, through the people who I have tattooed. And it's all by God. Yeah. Honestly, this is all God's will.
Is there a lot of pressure that comes with that, or
yes,
pride maybe?
Yeah, privilege. I feel very privileged to be in this position. I want to continue to do this, and that's why I want my children to continue to do this, so that this beautiful tradition can continue.
Well, Wazim, who is going to carry the torch after you? Your 27th generation.
Yes, I am the 27th generation. God blessed me with 2 beautiful sons and 1 beautiful daughter. I like to call ourselves, our family, the custodians of this tradition. The tradition is not our tradition. It's not Razuk tradition. It's the pilgrim's tradition. It's your tradition. We keep it for you to come back and get it. The next step is my sons. I've done my thing, and I think it's their time now.
I've been tattooing for 6 years now. I started when I was 18. I'm turning 24. My dad has been tattooing for 20-something years, so I grew up in this atmosphere of tattooing.
You're 28th generation Razzouk tattoo artist. Tell me about that experience.
It's a very big responsibility, I can tell you that. It's such a great legacy that hangs on your shoulders. It feels as a blessing more than it is as a responsibility to carry it on. It's something that's been given to me by God, so there's no way you can say no to that.
What is the most exciting part for you about taking on this role?
It's more about the connections and the people and the stories that you get to hear every single day from different people, from different cultures and backgrounds. This, to me, makes it more about socializing and more about connecting with your client rather than just the business aspect of it.
Tell us about your first tattoo that you ever did.
The first tattoo I ever did on a person was actually my father. I tattooed him. He wanted me to start off on him. And it was one of the small angel stamps. He got it on his leg to be able to hide it if it looked bad. But the first actual tattoo on a client was a guy who came to Jerusalem and got a tattoo by my father. And he said, well, I have a tattoo by your father, and he had a tattoo from my brother as well. And he said, the only person missing is you, so I want you to tattoo me. You can start off on me. So that was the first volunteer that had me tattoo on him. This is what got me into tattooing. This is what started the big snowball effect.
That's amazing. Yeah. Has he ever gone back to
Jerusalem?
Yeah.
No, but he actually came to us in this tour. He met us in Green Bay. He came to Green Bay and...
Were you able to give him another tattoo?
Yes, yeah, he wanted me to tattoo him.
How do you feel about your faith being a part of the art that you do?
The art that we specialize in is a part of my faith. It's not something that you can separate. Both of them come together. The experience itself, the specialty that we focus on, relies heavily on the Christian religion.
Well, I know you will do great following this legacy, you and your siblings, and thank you so much for also speaking with us.
Thank you, Katya.
Wasim, thank you so much for sharing your family legacy with us, your story, and showing us the next generation also coming in.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'd like to thank you too for this opportunity to share our history, our heritage, and our stories.
And I want to thank you for being custodians of this beautiful art for us pilgrims, in which we can really portray our faith and use our body as a canvas to show our identity as Christians.